between the Utah Jazz and the Phoenix Suns?
Yeah, starting with the Brooklyn Nets game. Of course, what does you want from Brooklyn Nets than to get a win against New Orleans Pelicans? And of course, we all know how star-studded they are so far. Kyrie Irving, for me, is that man since coming back from injury. He's been knocking everything for Brooklyn Nets. And, many people, the hate on Brooklyn Nets nowadays is getting too much. Many people are not really happy because they are star-studded, because they feel they have that easy ride to winning the NBA chip. But I think, it's beyond all of that. You can have a star-studded team and at the end of the day, you fail to win the championship. Looking at Kyrie Irving, top-notch basketball player. It's a different thing for you to perform well in the regular season. The playoff is a different ball game entirely. I remember last season, Milwaukee Bucks had a very smooth regular season performance, but when they fumbled, and that was against they were dumped out by Miami Heat, who finished the runners up in the final against the LA Lakers. So believe me, the Brooklyn Nets, more still to come from them. Kevin Durant, still in that team. You have James Harden. The one thing about these guys is that when two players are absent, one can always come and win games. Kyrie, he can give you 40, 30. Any big figures, name it, Kyrie will give you. And for the Utah Jazz game, for me this season, they are one of my best teams. In fact, I'm a big fan of Utah. Because of their performance this season, I had to switch from OKC to Utah Jazz. I'm looking at what they Gobert, Chris Middleton, Bogdanovic. These guys are doing pretty well. And of course, the coach has also, I think one thing about Utah Jazz is that they have worked on their three-pointers. Donovan Mitchell is not really known to be a three-point scorer, but he can give you a certain...
he got 41 in the last game.
Yeah, very well. That's so ridiculous coming from. So I'm looking at how this team play together. There's this kind of chemistry. It's a different thing for you to have good players, but how about how they are connecting the communication between them? And Utah Jazz have all of the. For me, Utah Jazz and Brooklyn Nets, I'm looking forward to them ahead of the playoff.
Okay, I want to thank you, Kenny Bamidele, for your time on the show today. Hopefully, we get to do this some other time.
Thank you very much. No problem.
All right, so let me read a couple of tweets before we take a look at the papers. I don't know how far we're going to go with the papers, but it's going to be unfair if I don't read